Hello and welcome to a new video. I thought today it'd be kind of a fun thing to show you my collection of graphic novels and comic books. One of my goals this year is to read more graphic novels and comic books in general. I've definitely gotten into them quite a bit in the last couple of years. So I have not a huge collection, but I have some of my favorites. And so I'm really excited to show you what I have. I am gonna go through non-superhero comics first, non-Marvel first. So I will go ahead and pull those out and let's get into it. Okay, so one of the first series I want to show, sometimes I forget is technically a graphic novel, just because when you're reading it, the characters feel so real and I don't know, sometimes I just forget. That is the Heartstopper series. Can we just talk about how absolutely drop dead gorgeous these spines are all together? So I have Heartstopper Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, and the most recent release, Volume 5. So if you don't already know, which honestly, if you don't know what Heartstopper is at this point, I don't know what to tell you. It's one of the most popular, if not honestly, like the most popular graphic novel out there. That's like not comic book related. So Heartstopper is about Nick and Charlie, the two boys on this cover. They are in high school in the suburbs of England. I have no idea actually where they live. I just know they're in England. But who meet and fall in love. So Charlie recently was outed as gay at this school and has been dealing with the ramifications of that and being bullied and his own mental health and eating disorder and a lot of other stuff. Whereas Nick, in meeting Charlie, kind of starts to discover that he might not be straight as he develops feelings for this friend of his. So it is one of the most heartwarming and pure and just human experiences. This series is absolutely incredible. If you have not read it, if you've not heard of it, please, please, please go read it. It is for free on, oh, what's the app called? Tapas, I think, T-A-P-A-S. I think that's where all the Heartstopper ones are. So in case you also don't know, maybe not the best page to show, the reading or the art style is like kind of this style. I know they used to be in black and white, but now most of the editions are printed in this like teal style. So very, very pretty, amazing, love it. Nick and Charlie are the greatest. So I just realized there's 2 books I left in the other room that I have to go get. Hold please. Oh, I'm tired of running around the house to grab the books and let Lovebug outside, my dog, in case you didn't know. All this nonsense. Anyway, my next series on my list that I own is Lore Olympus. So I own volumes 1 through 5, which I think is actually all that's out right now. So here is volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, and things volume 4, and lastly volume 5. Now these ones, there's if you don't recognize these covers, I think quite a few of them have different covers. Like there's a lot of exclusive covers out there from Barnes & Noble or other stores. I think all of mine were bought off of Amazon. So Lore Olympus is another incredible series, graphic novels that follows Hades and Persephone in this very unique retelling of the Olympus gods and characters and like setting. So it's like this alternate, there's like these alternate worlds of like the modern like Olympic world, and then there's like going on Mount Olympus where it's kind of more old-fashioned, but there's also like technology and like normal things. Persephone is going to college, so it's a very, very unique take on the world. And you get to meet a lot of the classic Greek Olympic characters. Olympian would be the right word there. and it is Hades and Persephone meeting for the first time and what will become their love story. And what was really interesting to me in this series when I first started is I went in knowing it was a Hades and Persephone story. I assumed going in they'd already be together because they're such like a hallmark couple in my mind, and I will be honest, I don't know a lot of the real like Greek lore. I know what Percy Jackson has taught me, and that's it. I don't know anything about the real Olympian like stories, but I really, really love these characters. I will say, if you are a Percy Jackson fan, this is a great read to like jump into. This is definitely older. I would say at least 16 and up, but because there are trigger warnings, and she has them in the beginning of every book. Mental abuse, sexual trauma, toxic relationships is kind of the umbrellas that would cover everything that happens. But definitely the characters are a lot different than the ones you'll meet in Percy Jackson, but regardless, I had so much fun reading all of these. The art style blows me away in this series. Let's find like a really good, the one I just read had some really pretty pages. Like some of the ones of Persephone. Oh, here we go. Beautiful, beautiful spread of like the way that she uses color and everything is just so beautiful. How every character is represented like by a different color scheme is a really, really beautiful storytelling method. So I love those books. Highly, highly recommend them. I think I just have one more non-Marvel one, and ooh, I'm knocking things over. That is my Avatar comics. So I read these last year, so I have Avatar The High Ground Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. So, and can we just appreciate Jake Sully for a moment? Ugh, I love him. So the thing with these, they're beautiful and I love them. I love Avatar so much. This is a very interesting take on, this is by Dark Horse Comics, or Dark Horse Books, what's the difference? Where they took the storyline in between the first, kind of in between the first Avatar and the second Avatar movie, but more specifically in the time jump that happens in Avatar Way of Water, which if you haven't seen which one, go watch it, it's phenomenal. But in Avatar The Way of Water, they kind of catch you up in the beginning. They show the aftermath of the first movie. They show Jake and Neytiri adapting to regular life, having their children, and in that quite a bit of time happens. By the time we get to the first one, I would think that their oldest son is, Neteyam, is probably already 16, 17 by the main plot of the movie, so there's quite a lot of time, maybe 15. Quite a lot of time that passes. So this is kind of a glimpse into that time, especially in the later years when the humans come back, in that couple years that they are holding their ground on Pandora as the humans try to get in. So there's a lot of really fun insights into the details that happen in that story. Getting to learn more about Spider was like one of the most interesting parts to me, and kind of more reading into the theory about Kira and the other kids, and kind of finding out what Eywa might have in store for everyone. And this is when they're still in the forest, it's before they go to the water. So my favorite art in all of these is actually just the cover art. This is a zoomed in of one of the images you see in the comic, but this is Jake and Neytiri. It makes me unbelievably happy. I love these characters so much. So I definitely sprung to get the like hardcover beautiful copies of them. So let's get on to the Marvel comic books now. Let's look at my personal favorite thing that I own probably on this bookshelf, like maybe signed books aside. This, let me just show you. This is my Spider-Man Miles Morales omnibus. So this is the Ultimate Spider-Man. This is by Brian Michael Bendis. He's the main writer of the series, and then some of the others are Sarah Pichelli, David Marquez, and Justin Ponsor. So I read this years ago, and I actually originally read it digitally, like on an ebook, and it took me quite a while because this thing's big, in case you didn't know, and I debated for a really long time about whether or not I was going to buy this. And they don't print a lot of the omnibuses. I don't know what the plural of that is. It's usually a pretty limited run. Not every character gets them. It kind of just depends on the popularity of the comic and of the series, if it's a completed series, that kind of thing. But I love Miles so much. He is my favorite character in the comic books. And he is what made me fall in love with reading comic books and not just watching the movies. So for a long time I was always checking to see if there were good deals on eBay, because brand new at the time this was like at least $200. So what does it say? It says $125 on the back, but like when I was looking, when I first read it, it was being listed for much above that. Eventually I found this copy on eBay, and I think I ended up paying about $90, so expensive for a book for sure, but look at it, it's over 1,000 pages. So this includes all of these comic issues, which you can't even see really, but I'm not gonna do the math of how many issues are in here, but it's 1 through 12, 1 through 5, got 13 through 15, 16, 18, 23 through 28, 16 to 17, 19 through 22, 1 through 3, 200, 1 through 12, and it is a collection of like the through storyline of Miles. So his introduction, getting his powers, him beginning to learn how to be Spider-Man, working with Peter Parker, his appearances in a lot of the important Spider-Verse comics, and him kind of coming into his own later, the time he takes off from Spider-Man, and then the reasons why he comes back into doing it. So I love this more than I could ever imagine. In fact, I should probably reread it. I love him. I love him. Oh, a lot of the, they don't call it Infinity War. It's one of the big wars that they have with all the Avengers, and there's just lots of cool stuff. Let me find a cool, here's Spider-Man and Miles together. This thing is so heavy. So the art style can vary from issue to issue, kind of just depending on what series it came from, but it tends to be pretty straight through. Lots of other cool Spider-Man characters. We've got Jessica Drew, we've got another Spider-Woman, we obviously have Gwen Stacy / Ghost Spider, Miles' parents, his friends, his girlfriend later, just lots of really interesting information, and I love it so, so dearly. Mary Jane. And then in the back there's all these really cool alternate, oh, I thought that was on the cover, these kind of alternate covers that they designed throughout the years. So this is a Miles one, here's a Peter Parker one. Sorry the light's reflecting on these pages, it's because they're all print colored ink. So yeah, I just really, 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 really love Miles. So this was, if I was going to ever like purchase an omnibus, it was going to be this one. Like I said, I literally like thought about this for years before purchasing it, which maybe wasn't completely necessary, but by the time I had expendable expenses that I could buy something like this, because I originally read this in college. I didn't have any extra money like this in college. It was not in print anymore, so that's part of why I, was always scavenging eBay for it. So shout out to whoever I bought this from on eBay. You're the real one. I don't actually remember who it was. And then another really cool part. Oh my god, I just love him. He is just the best written character. Then we've got a really good villain shot on the back. It's just such a good story. I love him so much, and I could just go on and on and on about him. So, but I'm not going to because this video is already going to be a pretty long video. So next, some more Spider People. This is a more recent purchase, and you might have seen it in some of my recent vlogs, like December, my Vlogmas stuff. I bought a set of Spider-Woman comics off of eBay. Clearly, a lot of my comics are from eBay. I need to rein in my shopping. But so this, I bought it for this series. I'm trying to organize them. I bought it for these series, and then they threw in some more Spider-Woman ones for me. So I read this series recently on Marvel Unlimited, and I loved it so much. And this is a character that I met her, I believe, in Miles comics, or maybe I just picked this up randomly. I can't remember. But this is Spider-Woman by Hopeless and Rodriguez, and this is a version of Jessica Drew who is pregnant, which I just think is such an interesting idea to apply to a superhero, because we've never seen that before, and I honestly, like, when are we gonna see it again? I don't know. Well, I guess Invisible Woman from Fantastic Four definitely had her moments. She would have been pregnant because she has 2 kids. Anyway, this was just such an interesting take on it, and I really, really enjoyed it. So this is the first one in the series, and then we have Civil War 2, and we have Scare Tactics, which is my favorite cover. And I enjoyed the series so much that I bought these physical copies of it, because they are just such fun storytelling. Not only do we have like the added like interesting depth to the story with Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew, being pregnant, having a new baby, there's just really, really good emotional connections between the characters, and I love them. Our other kind of main character that we see in this series is Captain Marvel, as well as the Hedgehog. It's really not that important. Was a villain turned good and is working with Jessica Drew, and it's so full of heart and humor, and I just love it, and so I had to have some physical copies. And then with that came 2 other Spider-Woman comics. They're the same character, but like not of the same series, and this would be before the baby. So this is Spider-Verse, same authors, and New Duds. So these ones I have not read yet, but I would very much like to. So those are all my Spider-Woman comics. A Selena magazine that's mixed in with my comic books. I guess I lied. I do have some individual comic books, but that's beside the point. Let's go back to Spider-Man. Why not? Another Spider-Man one. This was a gift last Christmas or my birthday. I don't remember what it was for, but love this comic. This is Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen. This is a crossover between Miles and Ghost Spider sitting in a tree. Michael Bendis, who is one of my all-time favorite comic book writers. He wrote a lot of this Miles Morales ones. And this was a fun crossover where they travel to different alternate universes, some in which Gwen and Miles are together, and they're kind of like, but that couldn't be us, like, kind of thing. It was really fun. It was really cute. I do think this is a series that is continuing, or at least I really wanted to, but there wasn't much out yet, and I loved some of the cool alternate covers in the back. But honestly, this one, I love this. And the light's probably reflecting on it really badly because it's so dark, but there's another comic that I love. So I have 2 Moon Knight collections, and I love Moon Knight. Like, if we are ranking characters, my 4 favorite characters to read: Miles Morales, Moon Knight, Scarlet Witch, and then Scarlet Witch's son is my other favorite. So anyway, so this is a Moon Knight collection, more origin, older comics. I have not actually read this one yet, but this is a beautiful copy. I honestly don't remember if I bought this or if this was a gift, but this is another Brian Michael Bendis, so I know I'm gonna love it. And this cover, I mean, look at him. And if you haven't read some of the Moon Knight comics, you really should. It is an incredible character. It creates so much interesting, like, thoughts. Oh, there's even what's his face in this, the screamy Echo guy. I'm pretty sure that was him. Wolverine. This I think is a more traditional Moon Knight. Maybe not as like, I don't know how to explain it. Not as unique as a story, but not in a bad way. Like just a more classic version of him. I love him. But this Moon Knight by Lemire, so this is the run that I think most heavily influenced the show, and I adore this series of comics. It destroyed me. The art style is definitely like super unique. Let me find one of my favorite pages. This is a good one, just kind of the Mr. Knight and like the cosmic side of it, but this one is so like, again, with like just the stars and everything. This is a very, very interesting story. This is where you get to tap into all of the different alternate universes that kind of exist in Mark's head, and getting to understand where he came from. And you get that really like mind-bending experience that you get in the show. And that's, even if the specifics aren't in the show, the vibe is this. And so that's why I really think that a lot of the inspiration was pulled from this Lemire run, because in this one we have Moon Knight, aka Mark Spector, aka Stephen Grant, aka Jake Lockley, slash Mr. Knight. So he's got a lot of names. So it is about a character, Mark Spector, who experiences a lot of trauma as a child. And because of that, he develops, and as an adult, he develops dissociative identity disorder, or the old name for that being multiple personality disorder. But dissociative identity is more descriptive of what's actually happening. So Mark Spector had really horrible things happen to him as a child. He saw things that no one should see, but definitely not a child. He put trust in people that he shouldn't have, or that betrayed that trust. And then he goes on to become a mercenary, so more violent, horrible things that he is witnessing, and he is in the desert and he is betrayed once again, and he is left for dead, and he's begging for life. And Khonshu, a god from the Egyptian mythology, who is the god of travelers, kind of, he offers him, if you will be my scythe, basically, if you will be my person who works for me, I can't think of the word, I'm basically an assassin, my body, I will save your life. And he, in desperation, agrees. And so his Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, Jake Lockley, already dealing with that. You add in Khonshu and the powers that he is given through that, you get Moon Knight and Mr. Knight. And this is him, a lot of this one is just him exploring in his mind what brought him here, what makes him the way he is, and looking for an explanation, and looking in the end just for acceptance of himself. And I think that's the main through line in the show as well, that he's trying to figure out, one, that he exists as both Mark and Stephen. And you see that so visually, I don't even know how to say it, you see that so visually clearly in the show. And it's quite literally the plot of the finales is that he has to accept both Mark and Spencer. They have to, not Spencer, sorry, Mark and Stephen, they have to accept each other and acknowledge each other, and it's just really, really good. I will say, if you are a fan of the show, Layla is technically a character in these, but she's not the same at all. She's definitely much different in the show. But I love this Moon Knight comic. So this isn't a comic book, but I have this WandaVision TV show thing. It's just stored with all my other stuff if you want to see it. So this is just a behind the scenes look into the WandaVision show, and how they put the show together, some of the imaging, episode by episode, what their plans were for the look and the theming of the show and everything. So that's not the point I came here to make, though. Another Spider-Verse comic, I have Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider. I've actually read this entire series. I just only own the first one. This is Spider-Geddon. It was actually really upsetting to read, so I don't even know if I can recommend it because it's not finished. They kind of just ended. I was like, okay, but there's not like more to the story, which I think there should have been. But this picks up, this is really pretty art. It's actually by Seanan McGuire. If you know the book, knocking things over, I don't know where it is. It's too high for me to reach, but Every Heart a Doorway, the author who wrote that, she wrote this. And this series deserved more, and I don't think it's going to get it because it came out years and years ago. But it was picking up basically after the events of all of this with Miles. A lot happened in Spider-Geddon. That's the word I was looking for earlier when I was saying Civil War. Spider-Geddon is one of the word I was looking for. A lot happens, and it's her kind of picking up the pieces and accepting how she's changed, and this goes into a lot, and it's kind of a very common story all through Gwen's comics as well as the Spider-Verse movies, is her relationship with her father and them having to come to an agreement, come to acceptance about who she is and what she's doing, and the fact that he is a cop and was hunting her at one point, unknowingly that it was his daughter. So I really love this one. It's very fun in a heartbreaking sort of way. So I think this is my last, no it's not, there's one more in here. Second to last of like a bind up. This I got for free somewhere at some point. I don't know if I've read it, if I'll be completely honest. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. Either way, this is a Captain Marvel bind up. This is called Alien Nation by Stoll, Rosanis, and Garland. This is the Captain Marvel that's either the one that shows up in Spider-Gwen's comic or a very, very similar iteration of her. She's fun, she's funky, got a lot of repressed trauma, but you know, who doesn't? Looking through this, I don't know if I read this or not. Maybe I should read it soon. I don't know what it's about at all, but I got this, I'm pretty sure I got this for free somewhere, so, but I like this version of Captain Marvel, even if I despise her haircut. I like her personality. So this other one, again, I think I got this for free somewhere. This is The Amazing Spider-Man by Dan Slott and Humberto Ramos. This is a Peter Parker story. Again, I couldn't tell you if I've read this or not, but yeah, this looks like Peter Parker. The blonde lady whose name I can't remember is in it. Yeah, that's all I know. I did just read this one that is advertising in the front. I just read that on ebook. It was really, really good. But that's not the point that I'm here for. I was trying to look and see if I'd read this, but I don't think I have. Nothing looks familiar. I don't know. It's about Peter. Oh, this is the blonde lady I was talking about. I can't remember her name. This is the pile that I thought I had gotten rid of. I really thought I didn't own this anymore. I have no clue where these came from. I'm gonna kind of go through, unless I bought these all otherwise, I don't even know. I used to just shop for comics like at Half Price Books or wherever and just pick out ones with cool covers or like ones that looked really old because I just thought it would be cool to own. I have this, I'm splitting this into two different piles. So I'm gonna show you some comics that I bought specifically for a reason and some that I just have and I don't know where they came from or what they're about. I probably just bought them based on the cover, so. And then my other pile is like ones that I bought for specific reasons. So, but I actually found one more bind up. This is a Spider-Man story with Captain America as well as some Inhuman characters, and I really do like the Inhuman characters. I think they're cool. And this is a Sam Wilson Captain America, which is probably why I bought this. Oh, is that the Human Torch? That's cool. He never gets attention. Black Bolt is in this. Again, I haven't read this. I don't recognize this, but it's got some really cool art. Very unique. But yeah, I just bought this because Sam Wilson was on the front, so that's all I can tell you about it. Inhuman Error, it's called. So let's start with my Comic of Pile books. Yep, that's definitely what I meant to say. Let's start with my pile of comic books, and that these are the ones that I own, that I have. I don't know why I bought these, where I bought these. I genuinely have no idea where they came from. This is the pile that I didn't think that I owned anymore, I'm pretty sure. So let's get into it. I'm just gonna kind of quickly go through them. I don't know anything about the actual plot of any of these. So Quicksilver, No Surrender. The Untold Tales of Spider-Man. That was probably a cover by. Avengers Assemble, issue 13. Avengers Assemble, issue 14, Age of Ultron, probably a cover by. Untold Tales of Spider-Man, Who's That Girl? Again, cover by. Ultimate Iron Man. This is one of the kind of holographic collector ones, which is why I would have bought that. The Amazing Spider-Man. This is issue, it doesn't say. I probably bought this just because it looks really old. It's like a very classic, probably 70s or 80s Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man Female Trouble. I probably just bought this because it looked old too. Doesn't have the year on the front, but sometimes I think it's funny just to buy the old ones. Another old one, Amazing Spider-Man Roll Call. I don't actually know if Roll Call is the title. Oh, and this had Nova on the front, so I love him. Oh, this is from 1991. That one has a year. The Amazing Spider-Man issue... Where's the issue number? Am I stupid? I don't see it, but this is another older one, probably 80s, 90s, and this has Wilson Fisk in it, and he's a character that I like, so. Another Ultimate Iron Man. I think if I remember right, all these Iron Man ones, the holographic one and all of these came as a set on eBay, so this is issue number 3. I told you I need to stop shopping for comic books on eBay. This is issue number 2. Issue number 5. Sorry, I didn't put these in order, but whatever. This is issue number 4. Oh, and these are by Orson Scott Card. That's an author, isn't it? I'm pretty sure he's an author of something. I can't remember. Spider-Man Chapter 1. I probably just bought this because it's got a cool illustration of... What's his name? Falcon? Halt? The Hawk? Green Goblin? No, I can't remember that guy's name. And this is definitely old, probably 90s, 2000s. I'm basing that off of this Disney Channel ad. Isn't that just so funny to have, though? Like, look at... I would say that's probably the 90s. It doesn't say, but the famous Jet Jackson. That was not a show on Disney Channel when I was a kid, so it's got to probably be older than me. So, oh, the Vulture. It's written on the front. A blank thingy. This was also part of that Iron Man collection. This is issue 1. More holographic funness. I had no idea I had all of these anymore. Another Amazing Spider-Man Trial by Jury Part 2. I don't think I had Part 1 in this pile, so, but cool issue to have. Why not? I think it's just fun to have them, even if I clearly forgot that I did. So, and this is more the pile that I bought more for specific reasons. So, this one, Axis, I have read quite a bit of this series digitally, and this had Scarlet Witch on the cover, so I wanted it in paper. I think I found it at Half Price Books. So Axis is a pretty good series, and I just really wanted to own this Scarlet Witch illustration. One of my other, if not, other than Miles, I think my second favorite series is this Empire series, so I bought this edition. This is just issue number 1, just to have. So Al Ewing is my other favorite comic book writer. So I bought this just to have volume 1. This is another one. If they have a printed omnibus, I would buy this. So this is a series following Scarlet Witch plays a small role, the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Thor, Black Panther, Ghost Rider. It's a lot of characters, but kind of one of the biggest characters are the Young Avengers running through it, including Hulkling, my boy, and Wiccan. So I really, really love this series. There's so many cool elements that happen in it as so many different characters come together, so I love it. I should reread it. This I have also read. All of these, I just bought this because the cover was so pretty. This is Journey into Mystery, Fear Itself. This is a Loki comic, part of his, part of the Young Loki comics, I believe. I think I've read this. Maybe I've just looked at the cover so much, because looking at these pictures, none of these look familiar. Either way, I just like that cover. This is one of my Scarlet Witch comics. I have read this. I've read most of her comics. I just bought this for the cover though, just to kind of have this one. This is Agatha on the cover. It's a pretty iconic picture of her. I have read this Scarlet Witch. This is an older Scarlet Witch, definitely. Not one of my favorite iterations, but cool to have nonetheless. This I bought because it's a collector's item and it's beautiful and I love it, and I don't know if my camera is going to capture it, but this is a 30th anniversary Spider-Man. I don't know, it's kind of getting it. It's like a holographic 3D. There were yeah, it's kind of, you can see it. There were, I think, 4 colors printed. I have the green one and I love it very dearly. It's one of my favorite things. I have read this. This is The Amazing Spider-Man. This is a Nova and Spider-Man Peter Parker team up. I love Nova as a character. Like, he's one of my favorite comic book characters, so that was a cool one. This one, I bought, this is one of the very first comic books that I bought. I probably was, no, I was still in high school when I bought this. This is Marvel's. This is a Gwen, it's got Gwen Stacy and the Green Goblin on the cover. This is part of the series in which Gwen Stacy, you know, so it's just a good thing to have. This is another cover by, I just bought this at Half Price Books, Infinity Wars. It's just got a really cool illustration of Gamora on the front. I've read pieces of the Infinity War series, but I don't think this version of it. But again, just for Gamora. Another Young Avengers and Runaway. Again, I just bought this because Wiccan was on the cover. I don't think I've read this one. This was just a buy because look at him over there, and then I don't know who that is. So this was a team up. Here's another Young Avengers. We've got Kate on the front, Wiccan, well, I mean Hulkling. I don't know if that's Wiccan. No, that's Cassie, and Speed. So some of my favorite characters. I might have read this in a bind up at some point, but I haven't read this physical copy. Here's another Axis one. I didn't have them sitting together. This is number 1. Again, Scarlet Witch is on the cover, but we've also got great characters like Storm and Iron Man and lots of other stuff happening. And then obviously the Red Skull. So there's a lot of really cool team-ups in the Axis series too. I did really enjoy that. And then another Journey into Mystery, Fear Itself, Loki comic that I bought because I love Loki. So I think that's it. And you're like, oh really, that's it? You've only been talking for 40 minutes, Spirit. You sure you don't have more? Hopefully I can edit this down to be a semi more reasonable length, but probably not. I own a lot of graphic novels and a lot of comic books, but one, they take up a very small corner of my space, if you would believe it. And I just really, 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 really love them. See, look, I even have this nice Moon Knight Pop Funko who's been keeping me company this whole time. It's the only Pop Funko I have not taken out of the box because I think it's so cool in its box. Usually I take everything out. I've got my, oh, my other 2 Moon Knights actually are in the box too, but yeah, that is my collection. I hope you enjoyed. I will for sure be buying more. I know I said I shouldn't be shopping on eBay, but I probably will. So, specifically for the Empire, if they have an omnibus of that, purchase. I will probably look that up right after this, so. I hope you enjoyed. I hope if you're someone who's not read a comic book or a graphic novel, I say give it a chance. If you don't want to go straight into the superheroes, totally cool. Start with Heartstopper or Lore Olympus. If you are into the comic books, start with Miles Morales. I love him so much. So I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I've got some really fun videos coming because I have a Disney World trip coming up. But yeah, I hope you enjoy, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!